It's official. Republican State Representative Rebecca Dow will appear on the ballot for the June 2nd primary election for South Central New Mexico's District 38. That's after the state Supreme Court this week reversed a lower court ruling that had disqualified her, nixing the House caucus chair's chances at re-election. Dow took to the steps of the Roundhouse following the ruling, backed by her supporters.
First, I just want to commend the New Mexico Supreme Court and thank them for their unanimous vote in support of voters, the people who signed the petition and having the right to choose a candidate of their choice. This is never about me. It's not been about one candidate. It's been about whether the establishment can use the system, their own broken system, as a weapon against democracy and open elections.
The case stemmed from a challenge former Democratic Representative Tara Jaramillo, who once held Dow's seat, filed over the paperwork that Dow turned in to become a candidate. All of the voters who signed Dow's nominating petition did so online, and the representative filed screenshots of those forms, rather than printing and filing a PDF version of the petition signatures that has some additional information, like the voters' addresses. Core to Jaramillo's argument was that it would be burdensome for someone to challenge Dow's petition in the allotted 10 days without the full information that other form provides. A district court earlier this month agreed, but Dow quickly appealed to the High Court. Attorneys for Democratic Secretary of State Maggie Toulouse Oliver asked the Supreme Court to uphold the ruling, keeping Dow off the ballot. In this week's hearing, the office's general counsel, Peter O., argued that the filing is well understood, that, quote, everyone does it and it's not that difficult. However, Dow says others did struggle on filing day.
The amount of complications that were happening the day of, we are in a group chat with our caucus, and folks were having problems with their CFIUS report, with their campaign financing, for finance disclosure. They were having problems filing. Some clerks assisted in printing those petitions.
This is far from Dow's first time running for office in New Mexico. So why, as the plaintiff's attorney argued, were 126 other candidates able to file the right petition forms? Well, Dow spoke to that after the ruling, saying Sierra County Clerk Amy Whitehead affirmed her filing after she sought advice from the Secretary of State's office itself.
My very first question to the Secretary of State's hotline is, the internet is down. I live below Elephant Butte Lake in the Rio Grande by the river, and the internet was down. Should I go print this somewhere, or does it work with a mobile app? And I was assured that it worked with a mobile app. High Insight's 2020. He could have said, go print it at your clerk's office. My clerk, instead of looking and reviewing the files, could have printed it in her office. But clearly, what needs to happen is that voters get a choice, and that's what happened today. And I'm looking forward to reading what the Supreme Court rules, because we do need clarity and consistency, and clearly that's not there.
Well, the court has issued an order requiring the Secretary of State put Dow's name back on the Republican primary ballot. A longer and broader opinion is still to come. This isn't the first time Dow's faced an administrative hurdle to get on a ballot in New Mexico. In 2021, the Democratic-led legislature redrew her district so she no longer lived in it. After a failed run for governor in 2022, she had to move to run again for her old seat, which was held at the time by Democrat Tara Jaramillo, the very person who challenged her paperwork this time around. Dow argues she's the target of politically motivated efforts to flip her seat.
The party in power, when they cannot win a seat that they feel entitled to, I'm holding a seat that they assume should be Democrat, are looking at technicalities to remove a voter.
The plaintiffs in the case did not argue that any of the signatures Dow collected were invalid. And because of that, Justice David K. Thompson said during this week's hearing that the challenge over simply the format of forms seemed like a gotcha. With Dow back on the ballot for the primary, where she's running unopposed, she returns to the campaign trail with her eye on the general election, where she'll face Democratic write-in candidate David Mooney.
I'm very, very happy with the outcome. This is the beginning of, it's still a contentious seat. It's a 50-50 seat, one of few left after dramatic gerrymandering by the people in power. And so I'm going to go back and continue to earn the support of the voters who sent me here. Today I saw in the court and in the overflow, I saw Democrats, I saw Republicans, and I saw independents from my district standing. And I'm happy that they have a chance to move forward with a choice in November.
Early voting in the primary election begins at county clerk's offices on May 5th, with more polling sites opening on May 16th. And thanks to reporter Kaylee Chella for heading to Santa Fe so we could hear from Dow.